Welcome back to Fin Survive channel. Today I'll be showing you the Bibury BI2049. So this is a Chinese-made multi-tool. It's meant to compete with the Leatherman Surge. Now I will start off this review saying I am pro-American tools, pro-American products, and so anyways, be comparing the quality of this to the price. But do keep in mind, I personally do prefer American-made tools when it is available. Anyways. So this here, as I said, it's the Leatherman Surge. It's compared to the Leatherman Surge. I'm going to be comparing it to my Leatherman Charge. That's because I unfortunately do not have a Leatherman Surge to show you kind of side by side. And so it's not always going to be like size-wise or some feature-wise. It's not going to be an exact fair comparison next to the Charge. But anyways, the design here is very similar to the Leatherman Free series. Got these little dimples on the handle. Also, I see there's the little cutout here for it looks like it should be a pocket clip. It does not come with a pocket clip. It has this really nice case though. I'll show you that a bit more later. So size-wise, once again, you see it's much larger than my Charge, but it is supposed to be the exact same size as a Leatherman Surge. So it is 4.4 inches, right about 11.3 centimeters. It's 1.18 inches, which is 3 centimeters. When you open this up, it is 7 inches from the tip to the end of the handle. So that's right on 18 centimeters. So it is a pretty heavyweight tool, again, especially when compared to my smaller Leatherman Charge. This has the titanium in it as well. So this weighs 12 ounces, which is right around 340 grams. And again, that's not including the case. That is just the tool itself. So anyways, it has a hefty feel, but I think it's a decent feel. It doesn't feel like it's too heavy. It doesn't feel too light. It feels pretty solid in your hand. I did notice a bit of wobble back and forth. It's not really a wobble. You can force it back and forth. Is that a performance issue? I don't think so. But anyways, it feels solid in your hand. All right, so the tool set is also going to be very similar to the Leatherman Surge. And so let's go ahead and start with the outside tools. It's the wrong blade. We'll start with this right here. So one hand access, again, very similar to the Leatherman. So this is a 3CR13 steel. Now the Leatherman Surge comes with 420 HC steel, which has a lot better edge retention compared to this 3CR13. My Leatherman, for example, comes with an S30V. Once again, we're not really comparing these two. Try to keep that in mind there. So this does come very sharp right out of the box. Let me show you with some fabric here. All right, so it comes sharp, has a nice edge on it. Again, main question is how long will it be able to retain its edge before it needs to be sharpened? So it has a lock just like the Leatherman right there. Down this side, you have the serrated blade. That is also very sharp. Exact same steel for this blade. I'm not going to do a sharpness test, but trust me, those are very sharp teeth on this serrated blade. All right, then next up is actually a feature I really like. They have these nice large scissors. Now, like I said, I don't own a Surge, but they also have these scissors. But I know that on my Leatherman Charge, the scissors are, nothing short of a joke. And so I'll be showing you a little bit of comparison here in just a second. But anyways, let's start with these. These are nice and sharp. I have some 550 cord here. Actually, it's Survivor cord, if you know what that is. It's got like the fishing wire, trap wire in it. And you can see it cuts right through that. Zip tie, same thing. It just eats right through the zip tie. So nice and simple. And then, now fabric can be difficult with multi-tool scissors. But watch this, it is also nice and sharp. It does a really good job on the fabric. And so I'm very pleased with the scissors. Now, whenever you open this up, you do want to make sure you'll see it right now. There's no spring, no tension. When you open it up, you have to force it all the way open until it snaps. All right, now let me go ahead and show you real quick. Again, I know I'm not comparing this to the Leatherman Charge, but let me show you these scissors. This is sad. It does nothing to the fabric, not even a bit. I've not abused these scissors, and so it's nothing I've done to them from day one. They've never been very good at all. So anyways, we're not comparing it to the Charge. Keep that in mind. All right, so that was the scissors. And the next tool is kind of interesting. I'm kind of, on the fence about it. So the Leatherman Surge actually comes with basically a dedicated diamond file. And you have the metal file here on this side, or I guess you call it a nail file. But anyways, you can see here, this is actually a T-shank. It's an interchangeable tool. And so you just pop this back this direction. You slide that off. And you can buy replacements, which is pretty cool as well. So for example, on my Leatherman here, my charge, my diamond file is just about worn out. I've used that quite a bit. And so it's not a simple replacement, whereas this is. I'll talk a bit more about the disadvantage that I've seen on it so far. But you'll see in the kit, you have two tools right here. And pull these out. And so you have a scalpel holder and then a wood saw. Let's go start with the scalpel holder. Now, I really like scalpels. I like the concept because it's a tool that basically you can use, you can abuse this blade. When you're done, you toss it and buy a replacement. It's super simple. It's basically always sharp. It's a holder for those tools. I'll put it aside. It comes with one replacement scalpel here. And so whenever this gets dull, you can just change it. But the scalpel is so thin, it makes it very convenient to use in certain cases when you need a very thin, sharp blade. And so I like that concept. But again, the issue with it being a T-shank is it does have just a slight bit of play, more than you see on the dedicated tools. All right, let me put this scalpel over here. I'll put the wood saw. Now the wood saw is nice and long, you can see, but that is also a disadvantage. You can't keep the wood saw on the tool. You see it is too long to fit in the tool. And so it's something that you would have to basically take this out of your kit, out of your little pouch here. You'd attach it, you'd use it, then when you're done, you'd take it back off. But anyways, I do see the concept because if it was any shorter, it makes it kind of hard to use. But anyways, it's a very sharp wood saw here. Same thing, you can see just a bit of play. I mean, not to the point where it's going to bother you, but to the point where if you're used to having a Leatherman that has no play at all in the tools, let's find the saw here real quick. I have my saw open, and there's no play to that. And then this right here, again, it's not a performance problem. It's nothing really you could fix. It's just that the concept of it having this T-shank holder lets that ever so slightly kind of move back and forth. So once again, how's it going to perform? I think it'd perform just fine. I don't think it'd be an issue. It's just something that I noticed and I thought was worth pointing that out to you. All right, so that is it for the outside tools here on this BI2049 Bibury. The pliers are nice and large. Again, almost identical to the Leatherman Surge. Now my pliers are, of course, smaller, but I have a smaller sized multi-tool. So you see there the size difference. Put that way real quick here. All right. So nice and large. It's got a nice big grip. You get your needle nose there on the end. It has the tungsten wire cutter, which also is very cool. It comes with, basically it's the replaceable version. And so you're able to unscrew that, and it actually comes with a replacement here in the pouch. So right there is the tungsten wire cutter tips. So if you mess up those tips, you can replace them. And it also has, you gotta slide it out. Kind of stuck there. Basically you have little Torx right here so that you can easily unscrew those wire cutters and replace them. Again, it's all there inside of the kit. All right, so very strong. Let's go ahead and clip through some steel wire here. Now this is not extremely hard, but it's also not a super soft steel. I can't even straighten it right now. Anyways. All right, so I see absolutely no problem cutting through that. Let's see if we can see anything on the edge. All right, so I see some marks, but I don't see any damage to the actual wire cutters themselves. All right, so that is the pliers. And then on the inside, the tools are once again going to be very similar to the Leatherman Surge. First up, though, I want to show you is this little bit driver here. Now the Leatherman, this is a problem that Leatherman has. So on the Leatherman, you have their little bit holder, and they use these really dumb flat bits. I get the concept. It helps keep the tool slim. You're not having a large, 4mm by 4mm bit there that you're holding. But the problem is you can only buy these from Leatherman, and they always want so much money to get these replacement parts. And so the Leatherman Surge has this same bit driver, which is just a bit of a disadvantage in my opinion. This right here, as you can see, it is a standard size bit here. In fact, it is worth noting, you can use like some other sizes, not sizes, some other tools here. They fit right in there. But now you will notice it will fall back out. And so if you have this upside down, it's not going to stay in there. That's because on their little bits, you see they have that little metal bead right there, and that makes sure that this stays snapped into place. And so it's a bit of an advantage, not exactly perfect nonetheless. They do have a little bit holder here, some different sizes, as you can see. So got some of the more commonly used bits, and that just fits right there in your pouch as well. All right, so great concept. Again, would I call it a win for the Bibury over the Leatherman? I'm not sure. I'm kind of torn. I've never been a fan of the flat bits from Leatherman, but at the same time, it's pretty close to being good. But that little bead just, I don't know, gives it just a bit of a disadvantage. All right, so that's the only tool on this side. And then on this side, you have several. Got to take these out. All right, so first up is a can opener, bottle opener right there. Here you have actually a very sharp wire stripper on that tool as well. These also do lock as you open them. And then these three, I've always noticed they come up together at the same time. So anyways, I'll just fan them out. So you have a small flathead screwdriver there. You have a larger, which is also kind of like a little pry tool, perhaps. And then lastly, you have this reamer. You kind of like an awl or a reamer there. So it's also a sharp tool. I mean, not like cut yourself, but enough where you could, like, if you want to get, like drill into some wood to get a screw started, you could use that, the tip of that. All right, so that is it for the Bibury BI2049. And so what is my final thought about this? Here's the thing. Will the tool perform well when you need it? I think it will. The blade's going to hold up. I mean, it's going to need sharpened more often than your Leatherman. It's a very, let's just say, kind of low-end steel. All right, it's low-end steel. It's not a high-end steel. It's going to need more care to keep it sharp. But here's my thought. Here's my concept here. A Leatherman Surge costs $150 right now on Amazon. This costs $50. And actually, there are some extra discounts down the description of the video. I'll tell you more about that. But anyway, so right now, let's just say $50 for this. So you can buy 3 of these tools for the price of 1 Leatherman Surge. Now, it's a Chinese tool, and so it works. It works, I would say, well. But the thing is, like, if I'm going to be pocket checked, right? Let's say somebody asks me, hey, what's in your pocket? What are you carrying today? And I pull out a Bibury BI2049. This doesn't really make me very proud. Okay, I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. Whereas if somebody, pocket checks me, like, hey, what are you carrying? And I pull out a Leatherman Surge, I'm very proud to be carrying an American-made multi-tool, right? As for performance, I mean, this is going to perform well. And so if I want to carry, let's say, a multi-tool that is going to be like, say, an emergency multi-tool, put this in the back of my car, hope to never need it, yeah, I might go for this because I don't want to spend $150 for a Leatherman, put it in the back of my car just for a rainy day that never comes, all right? So I can buy 3 of these, put them in different locations, different maybe kits, and I wouldn't be concerned. People say, well, if it's an emergency, I don't want to have to depend on Chinese product. I wouldn't be a bit concerned. If it's an emergency and I need to get, work on my car or something like that, and I just need a multi-tool like this, I have no doubts it's going to work for me. The main questions is, how well is the quality going to last over time? Like if you carry this every day, are you going to start having more problems with it? That's a question that, I can't tell you in this review. It would take maybe years carrying this to find out how it's going to hold up over the years, right? But for something you're going to buy, put in a kit and forget about for maybe ever, sure, I think it's a great option. They've kept the price down on it and still kept, I would say, decent quality. But anyways, let me know your thoughts about this. Do you think this is worth $50? Would you carry this? Would you use it in a kit? Let me know down in the comments section. Like I said, I'll have the details about a bit of a discount on this also in the description of the video. So check that out if you're interested. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.